Welcome, friends, to the Someone Gets Me podcast. I am your host, Dianne A, and I am so delighted that you're here. This podcast was created because I believe there is a visionary leader inside each one of us who is waiting to be seen. In each episode of Someone Gets Me, you will hear useful tips from successful visionaries who will share their stories about how being seen has allowed them to take their vision out into the world with action. Overthinking, overanalyzing, and overwhelmed, living in the gifted brain. Hi, friends, it's Dianne here at Someone Gets Me, and I can tell you that living with a gifted brain can give you all of these things, right? You can be overthinking, overanalyzing, and create overwhelm, sometimes without any struggle at all. It just happens to us. So let's talk about it for a minute. All of these things are issues that could happen to us that make us tired or irritable or difficult to live with, both living in our own skin and live with as in other people around us, right? And so we want to understand that your brain is not meant to be suppressed. It's not meant to be shut down. It's meant to process more. You were born with a neurology, a processing brain that allows you to put data points together, have an amazing range of idea synthesis, have curiosity beyond what a lot of people even can understand. And I think that that's a great superpower. And I also think that if you're not paying attention and honoring and channeling the energy behind that powerful brain of yours in a way that works, then it can feel like a curse. And I know that I have felt like sometimes my thinking and my overanalyzing brain has felt like a curse. And I have clients who call me up and they want to work with me because they're tired of feeling like they're cursed, or they're depressed, or they're anxious, or their brain doesn't work like everyone else's. Well, I'm here to tell you, your brain's not meant to work like everyone else's. In fact, I really believe that every brain is its own thing, and no two brains are the same. Now, there's obviously themes, there's obviously trends, and I think everybody's neurology is unique and different. So I think what really needs to happen is for us as gifted people to say, okay, our brains have a propensity to think fast, to put ideas together in a rate that's often our mouths might not even be able to come up with, right? I was talking to a friend yesterday who said, I can see it in my mind. I can see it, but I can't yet have words for it. That's an overanalyzing, overthinking brain that's becoming overwhelming to that person because they haven't learned yet how to exactly channel that experience. And so what they try to do, or what a lot of people try to do, is suppress it and pretend like it's not there. And that doesn't work. In fact, all it does is create a bigger issue down the road. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to try to suppress our brain. We don't want to try to pretend like we're not thinking like we are, because first of all, you can't hide it from anyone. And second of all, you don't want to create anxiety or depression or stomach problems or high blood pressure, because your body is going to pay the price if you start pushing things down. So what I want to encourage us to do is make friends with those parts of us. Okay, so you overanalyze. Okay, so you overthink. In fact, I find the words kind of funny, because who said it's overanalyzing or overthinking? What if it's just your unique brain thinking and analyzing, and it's over because the society says it's over? Like, what if we took away some of those judgment words and we just started looking at, maybe you just do it a little differently and it's okay. It doesn't make you better than, doesn't make you worse, doesn't make you special, doesn't make you anything other than what it is. So if we get rid of that judgment and we remind ourselves that our brains are designed in a certain way for us to fulfill our mission here on earth, whatever that is, whether we know what our mission is or not, whether we've done the personal development work to understand ourselves or not, whether we believe any of it or not, the truth is we are all sucking air. If you're hearing my voice, you're sucking air, right? So if you're sucking air and there is something going on in your life, then you want to make friends with it. When I used to beat myself up years ago for overthinking, I look back on that and go, oh my word. When I used to do that, all I did is drive my self-esteem down. All I did was mask and hide and do what? Create anxiety and create depression and create social disconnection instead of saying, this is just how my brain is. So what I started doing was adding a little humor to it and realizing that if I elevate my energy into humor and fun and play, that the people around me don't experience it all so heavy. And they also are able to experience their own world a little brighter and a little lighter. So suppressing our brains and our thinking and pretending like we're not analyzing and paying attention in the way we are is a form of dishonesty. It's a form of self-betrayal. And I try to encourage my people to release that idea and to say, okay, well, I think a lot and I analyze a lot. Okay. I have people that I work with that can put data points together like no others and see nuance in things that is amazing. And as long as those people are suppressing who they really are, they're cheating themselves and they're cheating the world. And we're all here, in my opinion, to be a beneficial presence on this earth. So if you are hiding who you authentically are in there, then you are cheating yourself and everyone else from that beneficial presence. And so when I had those conversations with myself many years ago, I'm like, okay, I'm not hiding anymore. And it's been a tricky ride sometimes, and it's been very fulfilling sometimes. And everybody says, oh, well, when you stand in your authority, it's all great. Well, it is great, but it also, it can be tricky and difficult. And there's dark nights and there's confusion. It's all of those things, which is why I say, take the judgment out. You can have a hard night. You can have a great night. You can have this, you can have that. And it's still all the beauty of your life. So we want to understand that the idea, oh my gosh, the idea of just not thinking, like stopping your brain. I had a client just a couple of days ago go, Dianne, I can't meditate because I can't stop my brain from thinking. And I'm like, well, good. Once your brain stops thinking, I think that would mean you're dead. So it's not about stopping thinking. It's about channeling your thoughts. It's about pacing your thoughts. Like when I meditate, I don't try to stop my brain from thinking. What I do is take time in the pauses in between the thoughts. And I allow myself to dictate the pace of my thinking, which then gets slower and slower and slower over time. But never do I expect myself to not be thinking. Now, I don't have to hyperthink or overthink or pay attention to hyperfocus, right? Or analyze the fact that I'm slowing my brain down. I don't have to do that. I can give myself permission to channel my focus and my energy to do something that is helpful and good. Slowing my brain down a little bit gives me a break. Because when you have your brain making lots of decisions all day long, you end up with decision fatigue. And decision fatigue can create all kinds of issues. And one of the big issues decision fatigue creates is overeating and being irritable and depressed and anxious in the evening, which then makes sleep difficult and relationships difficult. And overeating makes a lot of times people feel bad because they're eating the wrong food or they get shame over it. And it's really because your brain is searching for a way to soothe the not so great decisions constantly all day, every day. So one of the things that is really helpful for that is to take time during the day, during your work day, during your productive day, and take a break, whether it's watch a funny video or read a book or walk outside and just connect to the trees and Mother Earth and look around at nature and appreciate what's happening in the world. Or maybe it's putting your hand on your heart and just feeling your own heartbeat and being grateful for your life. Could be that. Taking time apart from the pattern and the decisions and the thinking to focus and channel your attention into something that you intend to give you rest and beauty. Sometimes it's just having a nice drink of tea or something that tastes really yummy, or I love ice in my drinks in the summer and I just love that feeling, or warm tea in the evening. That warmth gives myself permission for my brain to channel something that's calming and something that's soothing, and it slows it down a little bit so that then when I'm making other decisions as time unfolds, decision fatigue doesn't happen. Same thing with compassion fatigue. Many gifted people are intuitive and empathic and out there doing things that are serving others. And so what I want to say is, are you serving you too? Remember, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. So what are you doing for you during the day? If you're one of those people who's been trained to give, 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 and because you're gifted, you can give even more, you're going to end up with compassion fatigue and burnout, and you're going to feel really resentful. And that's not the goal either. The goal is for you to feel empowered, to stand in your sovereignty, to be who you are as an amazing, beneficial presence here on planet Earth. So overthinking and overanalyzing things and allowing yourself to amplify emotions to the point of overwhelm that goes with the intellect can really hinder your life. It can even make you feel like you're broken. And really, the issue is your intellect is not channeled properly, it's not focused properly. Right. Like I remember when I was going through a difficult time many, many years ago now. Oh my gosh. I remember waking up at night one night crying, thinking I'm broken, because my brain just couldn't work right because I wasn't channeling it. It wasn't bridled in a way that was serving me. It was just all over, and it was very anxious and difficult. And it's very easy for gifted people to get in those positions if your vitamin level is low, because we have different nutritional needs. If you're not sleeping properly, that can happen, right? If you are overdoing it because you have that belief of you have to keep pushing through, no pain, no gain. All of these belief systems that are drilled into us don't necessarily serve us in a way we think they're going to. So we try to push harder and push harder when really maybe the message is stop for a minute, change course, channel your energy differently, look at your options, use your gifted brain in a way that serves you versus trying to push it through in a system that may or may not work in the way you think it's working. So we want to slow down and get some information from others. A lot of the work I do is helping people see their own patterns and their own ways of doing things so that we can find a way that's more resourceful and more fun and more amazing so that their gift can come into the world more fully. Because that's my belief, right? That I think that you are here because you have something amazing to bring to the world. You're a beneficial presence. You wouldn't even be listening to me if you didn't believe that on some level. Now, you may not know how to get there from here, or you may feel it and not know what to do. That's where, for a lot of my people, that I come in because I can help see that with them and show them the way. Or I can just be the cheerleader on the sideline, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Because what's most important, I believe, is that we remember that when we're overthinking or we're in those intellectual deep dives, we could create overwhelm for ourselves, and we don't have to. So you can deep dive and you can overthink and you can get in there and you can do things. And at the same time, you can take care of yourself, which is why I don't really like the word overthinking and overanalyzing. You can just deep dive and think all you want to, and you can analyze and you can do the data points and you can put it together and you can see the nuance, and you can take care of yourself at the same time. That takes skill and care and compassion. And it takes a willingness to say, well, maybe I'm going to do things a little bit differently than I was taught. And maybe I'm going to do things a little differently than the common world might think. But what matters is that you find your own rhythm, that you live within your own way of doing things, and that you allow yourself to be you authentically. If every one of our brains are different, but yet there's some similarities, right? Then we all have the responsibility, I think, to learn who we are and how our brains work, and then to work within that. And when we work within the natural nature of our own individual neurology and biology, then our mental health is great. Our physical health, our spiritual health, our social connections thrive. because we're being us authentically. So I want to encourage you to allow yourself to be who you are and to take care of yourself and channel your amazing gifted brain in a way that does not overwhelm you. I want to encourage you to release the idea that you have to just stop thinking or suppress who you are or hide who you are. I would want to encourage you to appreciate your deep processing skills and your ability to do the things that you are able to do while you're remembering that it's not because you're broken. It's because you have something within your own brain that is here meant to do something great. So if you're feeling anxious or depressed or you're having a hard time, please schedule a get to know you call. You'll find that in the show notes. Check out my book, The Loneliness Cure, or any of them. Care for the Neurodivergent Soul is another great book. There's all kinds of resources out here for you to support you to realizing that who you are is perfect, whole, and complete, just like you are. So any struggles we're having is because somehow we are misaligned with who we're meant to be. So I'm here to help you be more and more aligned. Until the next episode of Someone Gets Me, keep your face to the sun so the shadows fall behind you, because you're a rock star. You're here on purpose with a mighty purpose. So go out there and let your light shine. Be who you're meant to be. And until the next episode of Someone Gets Me, this is Dianne saying, be well. Thank you for listening. I trust you gained some valuable inspiration and information. Please join me and other visionaries in the Someone Gets Me Facebook group. Or for more information on my services and additional episodes, visit someonegetsme.com. Again, thanks for listening.